You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Happy belated 4th of July. Hopefully when everyone had a great holiday weekend, 4th of July weekend. What a ton of great stuff going on here in the Quad Cities, and especially the John Deere Classic. We have a new John Deere Classic champion. We've got that to get to. We're back in our studio. I miss my palatial estate out at Deere Run, Andrew Lehman's office. We'll get to Andrew here in just a second as well. Everyone taking a deep breath and just, what a weekend. What a bunch of fun stuff throughout the Quad Cities in the area over the weekend. We're going to get to all of it right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. Keep doing that. Make sure you have subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP. That helps us out a ton. Like, comment, all of those things help us out in what we do. We're also live on X. X has been very, very good to us as well. So make sure you're interactive with us on X as well. If you're in the chat talking like our everydayers, we appreciate that. If you're watching the show, you got a question for one of the guests today or myself or a complaint or whatever it may be, jump into the chat. We appreciate that as well. We're also streaming live on the WHO streaming app. We are on that every single day in Central Iowa, so we appreciate our viewers in Central Iowa. A lot to get to on today's show as well. We are also on all the podcasting platforms you could possibly want to be on. So whether it is Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, put in Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Listen to the show each and every day as well. We appreciate that. If you missed anything from last week in the John Deere Classic, I know it was the 4th of July, a holiday weekend. Please go check out those shows. A bunch of fun. We talked with everyone from Decker Plain to George McNeely to Andrew Lehman, a little more about his 20 years and a big picture look at the John Deere Classic. We'll talk more specifically about a new champion coming up with him in just a matter of moments as well. Also, Claire Peterson joined us. So many different people. Wendy Williams, who did a great job as the volunteer chair. Craig DeVrieze. Just a lot of great stuff from last week's show. And if you look at them and think, well, the John Deere Classic's over, still a lot of great stuff that doesn't affect whether you know what happened to the John Deere Classic or not. So go check out those shows if you can. We would appreciate that as well. On today's show, Andrew Lehman, I mentioned coming up in a matter of moments. We'll talk a ton of John Deere Classic. What a weekend, what a Sunday, what a champion we have. So Andrew Lehman coming up soon. Also, it's Monday. I guess we might be back to Pat Anger on Mondays, but Pat Anger joins us. He's huge into World Cup. Obviously, huge game for the U.S. coming up tonight against Belgium. So we'll talk World Cup. We'll talk Savannah Bananas with him. I know he was up there as well. We'll talk a little Iowa football. Who knows what we'll talk about with Pat Anger, but he is coming up a little bit later on in hour number 1 of the show. Also, really cool event that happened, obviously, Friday and Saturday. The Savannah Bananas were in Iowa City, and a familiar face here in the Quad Cities, Austin Chesney, owns the Public House, several bars and pubs over in the Iowa side of the Quad Cities, won a sprint of 50-year-olds at the Savannah Bananas. We'll have him on to talk about that. Also, Craig DeVrieze on the show as well, wrapping up and putting a bow on another amazing John Deere Classic. Let's get to the John Deere Classic. And first, we'll tell you what happened on Sunday and what a Sunday it was. Chris Gotterup came in to Sunday, 5 strokes off the lead, and in contention, but you weren't sure if he'd actually get there. He did a great job, played fantastic, shot a 62, a tap-in par here on 18. That got him to the clubhouse at 20 under par. Ben Coles, your leader throughout the day, ended up parring 17, needed a par to force a playoff, needed a birdie to win on 18. He eventually would go into the drink. That putt right there was to force a playoff. He missed that. So unfortunate for Ben Coles, who did a fantastic job. But here is your John Deere Classic champion, to the delight of thousands of people. Chris Gotterup, your John Deere Classic champion, and joining us now to talk all about this guy right here and all of those people behind him as well. Andrew Lehman joins us. Come on. That's a good weekend, my friend.
Well, first of all, I've got my radio voice this morning. Don't think you can use big words at the open of the show and start dropping palatial to talk about the
I can't say philanthropy, but I can say palatial. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, no, I had to look it up. Don't disrespect me like that. Second of all, I saw the note on the whiteboard back here. Miss you too, but damn it, this office looks nice put back together.
Doesn't it? I did a decent job. Did I get the I didn't get the chairs where they were supposed to, but you moved them right away, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we're back. We're back over here. It's all put back together.
It looks empty. It looks lonely.
Yeah, well, if I took you out into the main area of this office, you would see the chaos that is moving back from the office trailer. So yeah, what a week. And I think, and we can get into it, but I think everyone, at least from our perspective, understands that, the closing stretch of golf holes here at Deer Run from DA Weibring provides drama almost every year. I think we went into the day feeling like there were about 16 guys that could win the golf tournament, and anybody within 5 shots, that included 16 guys, I think. So prediction was right. If you were at home watching on TV, hopefully not, you were out here taking it in on a beautiful day in what otherwise was a tough weather week for us. But it had to have been captivating television. And ultimately, Ben Coles doesn't get it across the finish line, and feel gutted for him. But a world-class champion in Chris Gotterup, and what is a favorite event for him.
You mentioned it, Andrew. We had that old boss of yours, Claire Peterson, on last week, and I just said to him, like, what is it about this place? Because, and maybe we were talking about a final score, but you look and if there's I don't want to say knock on Deere Run, but like people watch and they see, low numbers, and that's a good thing, and it's an entertaining golf. But he mentioned that it always D.A. Weibring designed that course 15, 16, 17, and 18, where the cream rises to the top. And I remember saying to my sons, who, by the way, my 11-year-old Chase got out to the John Deere Classic for the first time, and I don't think he wanted to leave. Like, he was like, Dad, is this next weekend too? I'm like, no, it's a yearly thing. So he had a blast, and just watching him learn and grow the game, he's like, well, Dad, this I mean, Ben Coles is going to birdie one of these holes coming up. I'm like, buddy, it's hard. And like, playing 15, 16, 17, and 18 on Thursday is a lot different than playing it on Sunday with a guy like Chris Gotterup posting a 20 under par and knowing that you have to go get that or beat that. Can you talk to that? Because you mentioned that the cream rises to the top. You're gutted for Ben Coles, and he had a great week, great Sunday, great week there at the John Deere Classic. But there's something about that course that the cream kind of rises to the top, and Chris Gotterup, I believe, is as good a champion as we've had at the John Deere Classic since some guy named Jordan in 2015. Your thoughts on just the closing stretch, because DA had a purpose, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you want drama in the final stretch of golf. 13 and 14. 14 is an ultimate risk reward hole. We saw it didn't treat Ben Griffin kindly on Thursday and Friday, and would have probably been tied for the lead, on the weekend if he just makes par on those 2 days there. But 15's, one of the more challenging golf holes on the golf course, within certainly arguably the four hardest holes. 16's is such a great par 3 there. There's not a lot of birdies on 16. And then, 17 sometimes, can set you up to decide, am I here, or am I going to lose the golf tournament, or am I going to take command of it? And then 18 is no picnic. You don't see many birdies, specifically on Sunday on 18. And, I don't know if, and I texted with Ben last night. I'm gutted for him. I didn't get a chance to see it, but he's got to hold his head high and walk up that hillside with 15,000 people there. And I heard he signed autographs for 20 minutes or whatever it was. And, that was his 9th week in a row. He's going to play in Kentucky this week. And he responded this morning and just said, hey, thanks for an unbelievable week. And I just said, keep knocking on the door, man. Your time's coming. And it's tough. It's hard to win. But you're right, standing at the end of the day, another world-class champion, a guy I said loves this event. And, I don't know if you were to have Celia on here in the Mount Rushmores of champions, but certainly Chris would be a part of that conversation with all the quality guys that have won this event over the years.
Andrew, you look at it and just, there's always stories behind the stories about a champion. I think the great one with this one, he's shot a 62. I don't know how many 62s are fired on Sunday at the John Deere Classic to win the thing. It really impressive stuff, but his brother on the bag as well. And you got to see it a little closer, and those they are friends, they are brothers, they are. I mean, I don't know if I could do that, because if I had a bad shot, I'd probably blame my brother than anything else. Just that
he's
dynamic.
A little better at golf than you.
Yeah, very true. That dynamic that you saw. I mean, those are the stories within the stories. Obviously, his 3rd win of the year. 5th win, I believe, overall. But to win with his brother on the bag, those are the stories that we love right here in the Quad Cities, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, who knows where Chris Gotterup's career ends up? He's, what is he, 26? Who knows 20 years from now how many wins Chris Gotterup has. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot. He's that good of a player. But when he looks back eventually at his career, it'll be tough not to remember this one. One, because I know the affinity he has for this event. And then also he did it with his brother on the bag. And for Patrick, you saw the emotion on the driving range on the broadcast. I haven't seen the broadcast yet. I saw some social media clips, but, and then he turns to him in the trophy presentation. You know what that means. And, sibling rivalries are very real, but man, when it's family and it's love and it's all those things, it's really cool. And what a cap to the end of the week to see that type of emotion and what that meant to those guys as brothers.
I want to lob a very easy question at you. Chris Gotterup is a good dude, right? Like, just I've been around him, seeing him on the green. I mean, perfectly saying he needs to get a second house here in the Quad Cities. He fits the John Deere Classic mold. I know that, and most of them do, but like to a maybe greater extent this year. You got to know him some. He just seems to embrace this area, this event. He's a John Deere Classic guy, isn't he?
Oh, he is now. And I think he was before. Just a laid back guy. I think that's so many of these guys on tour are so approachable. World class human beings. They happen to be really good at golf, but, to see him all week, when he got here, I think it was Tuesday. And I remember seeing him on Tuesday. It's 1,000,000 degrees. And I caught him on the putting green over by the practice facility. And first thing he says, not, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" I won't use his language, but he's like, "What are you doing wearing a dress shirt and pants? It's 1,000,000 degrees. And I said, "Well, I'm either going to sweat in a dress shirt or sweat in a golf shirt. What's it really matter?" But, then to see him at the Big Dig, that night and obviously Wednesday's a long day for everybody with the Pro-Am. And, I think, and I haven't caught all your shows yet, but if you were asking people to make predictions, I have to think he would have been a pretty common one. I just think he's that good. That drive he hit on 18, he's a cutter of the golf ball. He hits a cut, and he hit a stinger bullet cut down there. I mean, he was past the bunker. Actually, he was right where our parachuters landed for the A250 extravaganza in the fairway.
Wow.
So
he looks the part. He seems like a great guy. I asked you the same question, like, what were you doing wearing that dress stuff? But you look the part. I got to ask you about some other golfers. Then I want to ask you about the week behind the scenes. So this Zach guy, like, I feel like he's got a chance to do some things on the golf course eventually if he sticks with it. How fun was Zach Johnson watching him play well? I got to see him off a 9 on Thursday. The first time, on Sunday. First time I had actually gotten a chance to chat with him, and it wasn't I should have been chatting during a round, but he was waiting, and like a lot of people were like yelling a few things at Zach, and all I said was Iowa football in 9 weeks. And he turned, he's like, Des, and he's just, I'm like, "You're grinding, huh?" He goes, I'm enjoying myself. He said something to the extent of like, "I'm just having such a fun week." What did you see from Zach Johnson this week that just was right with the John Deere Classic? I thought it was a fantastic week for Zach.
Yeah, fun, comes out hot out of the gate on Thursday. And, he got here into town. He seemed relaxed, seems confident. Obviously, his game's in great shape. And, he's talking about, his work in the gym and all those things. And, I watch out PGA Tour champions, because that boy can play. And I looked, he shot a third round or second round 70. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many? Well, you had like 29 rounds from 12 to 19 or something, whatever it was in the 60s. Wouldn't have shocked me to see him shoot somewhere around 62 yesterday. Loves the place, knows the place. And I think you saw that with Lucas Glover too. Those are two guys that play here a ton, or come back almost every year. And he had some Iowa football coaches out following him behind the scenes yesterday. So
did he? Why aren't you letting me know these things?
I can't tell you everything.
I
stopped down here at the office and I saw you were in cleanup mode, so I didn't want to end that production.
Not the head hawk, right?
No, he was not here. He's been here multiple times though.
He has been. I remember the year that Zach won in 2012. He was there on Thursday, and we caught up with him. I was being really quiet. This was before the days I think that Twitter was really. I mean, it wasn't, but it was, and I didn't want anybody else to find out that Kirk was out there. We did a quick interview. He was great, and I asked him, "Hey, what's your pick to win the John Deere Classic?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know golf, but I'll go with this guy, Zach Johnson. I think he does a pretty good job." And then at media day the following year, I said, "Coach, you must know a lot about golf. You nailed it." And I got a classic Kirk Ferentz, like a little snort. The Kirk. When you get a snort from Kirk, you're doing something good. So,
the head hawk himself.
Oh man, Andrew Lehman joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Max Homa seems to enjoy this course. I know a lot of people were rooting for him, and Andrew, he almost got there. He almost got there yesterday. He had a great Sunday as well.
Yeah, back-to-back years. I think it's safe to say he likes the golf course. I think he was quoted as saying he's not a gigantic fan of playing events where you have to shoot 20 under par, although that seems to be the norm now across the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
This place, when you get the humidity like we do, it's tough for the agronomy team to keep the firmness in the greens. They just get really soft and receptive to golf shots from almost anywhere. They combat that with higher rough, and this place has wide fairways. So if you miss these fairways, you should be penalized. And you get some of these Sunday pins that get tucked, and if you're firing at them and you miss the green, you're short sighted. Things get a little tougher, but back-to-back years where Max had a chance to win this golf tournament. And I would actually say both years he's been here, he's last year specifically in 25, he might've been searching for something and he seemed to leave town with some confidence, and he's just such a great guy, fan favorite, easy to root for. And I don't get to have a rooting interest. It's 144 world-class guys, but I know that hillside would have been pretty spectacular had we gotten maybe a Ben Coles, Max Homa, Chris Gotterup playoff on the 18th hole. That would have been fun. But
it was almost there. It looked like it for a little bit. Andrew, take me off the course. The week itself, I was in the trenches, if you will. Obviously the weather. You all right? You good?
I just think it's funny that you're in the trenches, but okay.
I mean, I was around the trenches. I could see the trenches.
Yeah. You're the general in the back sending the troops forward.
I was Wheezy, and I had a great view of what goes on. Obviously, weather is if I ask you what was the biggest challenge, it's weather. Is there a story you can tell us about what was the most difficult? I mean, Saturday was funky. Obviously played in threes all weekend. I got everything in. Concerts were amazing. Everything checked all the boxes. Is there a story from behind the scenes you can tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Friday, Thursday. So a ton of work done concert wise leading into obviously the build out and all the things we do on the golf course. But, Thursday and Friday are pretty big nights overnight on the stage with the final touches of getting, all the back line and everything in place. And then Friday night, it would have been, Carrie Underwood's pre-team being here to get everything done on stage, and, weird delay in golf to end it. And then, just an absolute monsoon, 2.5 inches of rain, lightning, you name it. So at about 11 o'clock Friday, hey, we're kind of in scramble mode of how can we change our timeline to be a little more flexible with golf taking place. Typically, we give that concert crew a hard stop around 6 a.m., sound checks and things that need to be done before golfers tee off. And we basically agreed that the tour, even though we knew the tour was going 6:31 a.m. tee times in threes off of one tee, I think we all kind of knew internally that hey, the probability of that is not very high with the amount of water this place has taken. And obviously the agronomy team has to get out there and get it prepared. So in talking with our rules officials that evening, like, hey, let's huddle. We're going to huddle sometime between 4:30 and 5 a.m. I think the first text of the morning was around 3:45. The alarm went off at 3:40. So short night of sleep. But we adjusted. We said, hey, listen, you have until 6:25 with a 6:30 tee time to get that last sound check in. And I don't care what you're doing on the stage. If you need to be on the stage all day, that's fine. We'll be flexible. We've got folks we can help run logistics on the backside. Obviously, all of our hospitality guests, it's a busy place behind 18 hospitality in the concert area. So we just, in this business, you got to be flexible to changes. Man, Saturday was a long day with very little sleep, already sleep deprived, and then all of a sudden we've got this America 250 extravaganza that we're going to do after the last putt drops and the start of the Carrie Underwood show. And that was awesome. We've talked about this in 20 years of doing this. That was one of the more spectacular moments, and it went off without a hitch. So just an unbelievable day celebrating the 4th of July. But, I don't want to say we were close to not having a concert Saturday, but there was some serious decisions that needed to be made Friday night.
The weather in general wasn't easy to deal with, but talk about your team and we had another great interview we had was Alex Studeman, who's Jonathan Graham is the man at Deere Run, but Alex, anybody who knows Alex, is the man everywhere and oversees that as well. Those guys, and not just those two, but the countless members of that staff just killed it all week, didn't they?
Yeah, starts for me with our group here, our group of 8, the absolute best in the business across the entire PGA Tour. And I know that sounds cliche to say that, but that's the truth. These folks could go work at any PGA Tour stop in the country. World class at what they do. Todd Hyduke and his team at Deere Run in the hospitality is second to none. And then you're right, Jonathan Graham and the agronomy team. And I don't know what Jonathan's team is on a daily basis. If I had to guess, it's somewhere between 30 and 40 folks. And they bring folks in from around the world, superintendents, assistant superintendents, agronomy staffs from all over. And I think they push somewhere between 150 and 200 folks. And it's tough. You're getting this amount of heat and you're trying to control the golf course and you've got water, you're trying to, the new term in golf is syringing greens, right? Where you're spraying hot spots on greens and not watering the whole thing. And, having the continuity of Alex, who knows the property so well, but now has, been elevated as an agronomist across the entire PGA Tour. There's a ton of synergy between all the constituents here that need to be in sync to put this thing on. So, you couple that with the fact that we've got an amazing, I think the best advanced rule official and chief referee from the PGA Tour who are here. They know the property, they know the community, they know the importance of what this event means to this community and all the great things like concerts that are happening. And I think you just step back at the end of the week and take a 30,000 foot view of this thing and look at all the great things that happen. And you're right, it's a challenging week. It was extremely hot for the better part of the week. And then all of a sudden, Mother Nature gives you rain and things that you can't control. And you just got to be flexible and willing to adapt and move things forward.
That's well said. All right, before I let you go, my highlight of the week came on Saturday morning. A sleep-deprived Andrew Lehman. I come into the office, and this is what appears to my eyes: is Andrew Lehman ready to rock it on America 250? We will get a full fit here in a second. You done good. Talk about the fit that you had for there it is. There's full-fledged Andrew. The belt, the shoes. Tell me about it, brother.
Yeah, that's something right there. I look like a picnic table. but darn it, those shoes were spectacular. I think I ruined them. May have to get a new pair, but those guitars are now signed by Carrie Underwood and the Old Dominion team, and we'll auction those off for charity. That's the more important thing to me based on the fit. But yeah, the sunglasses stayed on a good part of the day Saturday. The bags were there. Yeah, you just rocking and rolling, and what a week. That's all I can say is what a week.
Hey, you did great. I can't thank you enough for letting us invade your little world. Claire Peterson was on the show last week saying no. The answer would have been no, a million times no. So we appreciate you letting us do it.
You want to come back next year?
I thought what I thought about was, can we do that right now? Can I get you on record?
You're in. You're in.
I thought about Charlie brought it up yesterday. He's like, Dad, why don't you do the show there tomorrow? Like, you're going to have Andrew on the show. You might as well just be still there. And I was like, no, I think Andrew wants us to go. Like, I think it's time that we
well, I came home last night. I came home last night and I thought things were weird with my family when they were out here. Nobody would look at me. Like, no one,
Gina finally left you? Is that what you're going to tell us?
Well, yeah, maybe.
No, just kidding.
But I got home at about 9:45, and I opened the garage, and she comes out into the garage immediately, and I'm like, that's weird. We had family in town. My nephew was here from Western Iowa. He volunteered for 5 days, and then her brother and family and kids were here for. Sorry, that PGA Tour app keeps refreshing on the right. If that's what you're seeing,
I thought it was a ghost.
No, it's the. I
was going to call you.
Leaderboard.
I was going to call you afterwards.
Yeah,
and I think there's.
Anyway, she meets me in the garage, and I said, "Hey, I got to run in the backyard. I got to do something real quick. We've got another issue going on, but let me go check that." And I come through the garage door, and she's staring at me, and she's crying.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Andrew, it's bad." I'm thinking somebody died. So my heart, drops into my stomach.
Get to it, man. I'm worried. What's going on?
Now I want you to go through what I went through. We've got water in the basement.
Oh no.
Obviously not a great thing. But nobody died. She's like, "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." We've had a list. Do you want me to go through the list of things that have happened in the last 2 weeks?
I don't know if
There are 15 things. There are 15 things. You want to talk about the unsung heroes of the John Deere Classic? It's the significant others and spouses that have to batten down the hatches and hold things firm at home. But somewhere, some way, we did some landscaping work, and I'm not sure if we had a water rerouting problem, but I've got a golf simulator room that's about 1.5 feet below the foundation, and there was 6 inches of water in there.
Oh,
more this morning. So the shop vac's been running. The 15 and 12-year-old are in charge today, so we'll see what happens, but we'll figure it out. It's just nobody died.
Hey, well,
anyway.
if you get frustrated, just remember this guy. Just remember this guy from the other day. As long as you remember that guy, he's in his happy place. And as long as you have that guy, you're good. And there he is in full effect. Just put those babies on. Yeah, everything's good. Come on. And Iowa football is less than 9 weeks away. So you're good to go with that. Andrew, I can't thank you enough for the week. You guys killed it. You're the best. We'll catch up with you again real soon. Get some sleep. If you need me, I got kids that can shop back as well. So let me know if you need anything. See you, brother.
Thanks, pal.
All right. Andrew Lehman, who did. Oh, there he is again. I meant to come to a one shot, but we'll go to Andrew. Why not? When that's better than this. Andrew Lehman and everybody at the John Deere Classic and in that house, they do an amazing job. And you think with a event like that, and obviously there's volunteers, but you'd think the John Deere Classic headquarters were like, dozens and dozens of people. And it's a house of 7, I think, really hardworking people that killed it this week when it came to the John Deere Classic. We got a lot more to get to. Coming up after the break, we're going to maybe start a Monday tradition again. Pat Anger is here to talk about, well, let's be honest, to talk about God knows. Pat Anger next, right here on OTA. For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities. and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, guys. I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning, or electrical, or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines, and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. What a great weekend of sports the 4th of July was. Obviously, you had the John Deere Classic. Talked all about that. A fantastic winner. Great week and weekend of golf out at Deer Run. But you got the World Cup going on. The Savannah Bananas were in town. And then people kept on telling me, like, college football is like 9 weeks away, which had me thinking, man, I miss this guy. Pat Anger joins us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo, brought to you by Lindquist Ford in Bettendorf, our good friends at Lindquist Ford. Always great sponsors and supporters of the show. How are you, Patrick? Good to see you, buddy.
I'm great, man. It's good to see you. You doing okay?
Yeah, I am. How was America 250, man?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think we talked about it. I think we've talked about it a couple of years. I'm not a big firework guy, but we had some at a neighbor's house, and it was a great time. Kids were good. Kids had fun. Love America. I just wish Toby Keith was here to celebrate. I miss that guy a lot. Toby Keith's the best. But yeah, enjoyed it. Love the 4th of July. It's my favorite holiday.
Is it
yeah,
really?
Just the best. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
No, it's not.
Why would it not be? Do you got a problem with freedom in America? And
No,
George
I enjoy
Washington,
it.
what's wrong with you?
I enjoy it, but I didn't get any presents or anything like that.
I just hung out in the pool and drank beer. It was the best.
Yeah. I would put
How's
it
that not
like
the best?
So what rank? Give me your top 3 holidays.
Oh gosh!
And they all
4th
can't
of
be the 4th of July. It can't be 4th of July.
4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Why
It's
do you
the
hate
best.
Christmas?
It costs too much. It's too expensive,
Yeah, that's a good point.
and it's cold. You know. And here's the thing: Santa gets all the credit. I get none of it. At least for yeah. My boys, I think they appreciate me. My daughter gives Santa all the credit, but
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I understand. But think about this: like so you ate a ton this weekend, right?
Always.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Every weekend.
But it's the middle of the summer. Like at least at Christmas, when you eat a ton, I can wear a hooded sweatshirt and feel good about it. Like I don't
Yeah,
want
it's
to
true.
lay in a pool. Like nobody wants to see me fat as can be in a pool.
I would like to see you in a pool.
No, you wouldn't. That's the last thing you want to do. Trust me, you wouldn't like America anymore. You'd be leaving the country as fast as
That
you
is
can.
America. That is America. Fat, drunk, and in a pool, and that's the best. And I love that. And you know what? And Belgium's gonna get these hands tonight too.
Let's talk because I'm watching the World Cup. I obviously am rooting for America, but I don't want to be one of those people that's like soccer. This is amazing. Like I don't want to be one of those people every 4 years that gets fired up about a sport that I appreciate, but I don't watch all the time. You love soccer. You were probably a better soccer player than football player at Bettendorf. Is that true?
Not true, but I wanted to be Pele before I wanted to be an NFL player. Like, so I grew up, I think I started playing soccer at like 5. We played soccer. I mean, I played soccer all the way up until I played soccer my senior year in high school. And we did soccer back then for us was really the first sport that you could kind of travel and compete in, I would say. So we traveled around. I mean, and I wouldn't say travel around. We went to like Wisconsin, Chicago, and all those places. And but we won state a lot growing up, and we even would go. I think once you reached like 6th grade or something, back then, if you won state, then you would go to regionals. And we would actually compete really well in regionals. I think the 2 years or 3 years that we played there, we only lost 1 game. But like I love soccer, and that is one of the reasons why I hate baseball. Now I also played baseball, so I played baseball and soccer because back then you could do both. Youth sports wasn't completely insane.
Yeah.
So we'd leave a soccer tournament after scoring 3 goals, and then go to a baseball game and hit like 7 home runs.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. But it happened every time. But
were you a good baseball player?
I was okay. All
right, go on. You left after hitting 7 home runs. Go on.
Yeah, but like so then it became in 8th grade. We all kind of had to decide. Are we gonna go to soccer? Are we gonna do baseball? A lot of our football team, we were soccer players, and most of us decided to go to soccer. Bettendorf had a great history of soccer. Obviously, Ben Pennington, legendary coach, and we had played together since we were 5, and had a lot of success, and so yeah, so I chose soccer, and then we ended up I think my sophomore year we got 3rd or 4th. My junior year we won state, and my senior year we got 2nd. So soccer to me, like I love soccer because in my opinion, especially the way that football used to be played, because football in high school back in the day, if somebody threw like 15 or 10 times, like that was a big deal. Now it's completely different. Now it's more spread out. But back when I played, football was everyone's going to run the ball, and soccer transitions really well to football. Like if you're guarding a guy with a ball, or if you're that's an open field tackle. So that made my transition to football a lot easier because of the skills that I learned in soccer. I think soccer way better than baseball. Baseball does nothing for any other sport. I just want to go on record and say that. But soccer helps you out in every single sport that you can do, and it really helped me out in football.
Why did you played soccer your senior year? Like most people nowadays, and I think it was probably different back then, but they're not going to play a sport during the spring before they're going to. Heck, most people are probably already at the University of Iowa that are going to play football at the Div1 level. Did you think about it? Were you all in? Was there a question of whether you're going to play or not play? You're coming off a state championship. You probably had to play.
Yeah, no, there was never any thought of not playing. Soccer was fun because it was like we could compete at a decently high level, but it was almost like it was an active recovery as well too. So it kept you in shape, kept you going, and we competed really well. And my senior year, I also did track as well too, which was was kind of like our soccer practice. Pennington had it down. I think we'd practice for maybe an hour. And then we go, run a couple sprints for track. And so we were able to manage both. Obviously there were some track meets that I missed, but, soccer was fun. We had Ben Pennington, Chad Udy was the coach, Lubo Advarco, legend. It was so much fun. And, in that group of guys, we've been playing together for forever. So I wouldn't say we were the most skilled soccer players, and we had some really good soccer players. I wouldn't say we were the most skilled. But we knew what everybody was doing. We were, we'd played together forever, and we kind of sat back, like and I don't know how big of a soccer guy you are, but we just kind of sat back defensively, and then we would, I'd play forward, Tim Jackson would play forward, Matt Gowan would play forward, and we would just send balls up there, and it would just basically turn into a 40-yard sprint, and we'd just beat everybody.
No, I'm a huge soccer guy. Actually, I wasn't growing up. I don't watch it on TV, but like I covered a crap ton of soccer, and I appreciated it more. Like when I remember first like covering it, going like, why don't they just shoot the ball. Like I look at it like I look at girls in college. If I talk to 100 girls and one talk back to me, then I'm gonna talk to like 500 girls. Well, if I shoot the ball like 100 times and one goes in, I'm gonna shoot the ball like 500 times. And then like I started realizing there's strategy to it and those type of things. And I appreciate that side of the game. Okay, let's get to the World Cup then. There's a game tonight. Your thoughts on Belgium and America, and first off with the U.S., the opinion on the red card controversy that is.
Yeah, it's strange, and I think we kind of run into it a lot with football as well when they're reviewing plays. Is they review everything in slow motion? Like that's not how it happened.
Yeah,
it didn't happen that way. You can't review it, and now if the ball's out of bounds, whatever, like you've got to try to figure that out, but. Or a catch or whatever, but like something like that. I mean, that was really. I mean, it wasn't a malicious act. It was just they kind of tripped up over each other, and yeah, he got him really good, but it wasn't like he was trying to take him out. I think it probably deserved a yellow. I would say, but yeah, glad that he's going today. That guy's got a pretty crazy story. But yeah, no, I'm all in. I'm all in for our guys playing. And I saw a tweet from AQ. AQ was like, wouldn't Belgium want to beat America at its best? Why are they complaining? Like if I'm playing a team, especially if it's like a really important game, I want all their best players to not play.
Yeah.
And then we win easier. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm lame.
Yeah.
But it still will show. Hey, we beat Belgium. It's not going to say, well, they had X and X and X guy out. I want to play the easiest version of the team because the trophy still looks the same.
Yeah. Who's your biggest fear left for the U.S.? Like, what team has impressed you the most?
We obviously, we got to get by Belgium. Come on, man. We can't look past Belgium. But you got Portugal, you got Argentina, you've got those guys. Capo Verde. I mean, I love them. I know they lost to Argentina, but every team here is legit. They're all really good. The Norway Brazil game was a sweet one last night. Mexico England. Did you watch that game?
I didn't. I heard it was great last night. England won 3-2.
Yes, it was awesome. The game had absolutely everything. Had red cards, had yellow cards, had lots of goals. Just completely competitive, amazing game. I love when somebody scores and then I yell goal like super loud, and then the kids get all excited, and then we get like an ole ole chant. I love it. I love soccer. I love
We
World
need to
Cup
do the
soccer.
show live from the Anger House tonight. That's exciting.
yeah.
That's good stuff. Pat Anger joining us on Off the Air, Matt Randazzo.
Thanks, man.
Savannah Bananas this weekend for you?
Yeah, little Savannah Bananas. We've been,
You hate baseball though.
No, see, that's the awesome thing about Savannah Bananas is I enjoyed the baseball game. They did the impossible. They turned baseball into an enjoyable, watchable product. It's not, so usual baseball is you've got two guys working and then everybody else is just standing around picking their ass. That's baseball, but not Savannah Bananas. Everybody's doing something. It's a production. It was like watching like a live Broadway show. It was like Barnum and Bailey Circus. Like they do such a good job of getting you fired up and keeping you entertained. And I was super impressed. And my older boy, he's going to be a freshman this year, and we kind of, it was getting toward the end of the game. We're like, all right, we got to get out of here and kind of beat the traffic. And he was like, no, I don't want to go. He's like, this is awesome. And
wow.
He's a freshman in high school boy, and nothing is awesome to him, and nothing's cool. And to see him enjoy that was fun. But no, what they do there, I mean, I think every sport, every big organization could probably take something from that and what they do. I mean, it's definitely a production, and those guys are also very talented as well too.
What was your favorite part, if that makes any sense? Is there a moment of the night that you're like, hell yeah, that's the one? Yeah,
my favorite part was the corn on the slob. Have you seen that?
No.
Corn. CORN on the slob.
I got everything you said. Go on.
Okay. So they had two guys on the south end zone. They covered themselves with butter. And then they had two
I
guys.
already understand why you liked it. I already get it.
And then they had two guys in the north end zone lay on their backs, and they had corn on their CORN on their chest. And so then the guys with the butter ran down, jumped on the guys with the corn on their chest, and then they rolled to the end zone, and whoever lost had to eat the other team's corn. Why aren't we doing that professionally? Why is that not in the Olympics?
Forget the seventh inning stretch. That should be like every seventh inning stretch.
Yes.
I enjoyed probably you explaining it to me more than I enjoyed like actually watching that. That was amazing. That was well done.
And like, so before the game, they have some girl go out there. I can't remember her name. It was just a young girl, maybe like 10 or so, or 8 or whatever, younger. And they go, all right, everybody get up, and we're going to do exactly what she does. So everybody stood up, and the girls, doing clapping. Like 70,000 people are doing exactly what this girl's doing. And it's something so simple, but it gets everybody engaged. It gets everybody excited. It's just, completely freaking genius work. And, and obviously, they incorporated so much from the Children's Hospital there, which was just awesome. It was so cool. Just the whole, we had to wait a little bit in the storm and all that stuff, but I'm obviously really happy that we weren't inside when the storm hit, because then, we weren't stuck in there. But it was actually, I think the kids had a really good time running around. I parked with some former teammates, some former Hawkeyes, Matt Kroll and Danny Olsta. So we were able to hang out with them more, which was great, because you don't see those guys a lot. And what's really cool when you see former teammates is it's like you've never left. It's like you get right back into it, and had a really good time with those guys and their families. And it was a really, really good experience.
That's amazing. Unfortunately, my wife and kids were on the opposite side of that being locked in the stadium thing. So they didn't stick it out. My sister, my brother-in-law, and my nieces stuck it out. They had a great time. They got back at 1:30 in the morning. God bless my wife. I don't know if she thought, like, it was funny because I thought I was kind of going, and I was like, and you're going to yell at me, but I appreciate the Savannah Bananas. But like when somebody said, hey, do you want to go on the 4th of July weekend to Iowa City to watch them? I was like, what? No, if you want to. So anyways, I thought I was going, but I wasn't heartbroken that I didn't go. My wife didn't get me a ticket. She thought I was stuck at the John Deere Classic or whatever. So I'm just hanging out at home, and she texted me because they got there pretty early, and then they got stuck in that it was, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to make anybody upset, but it wasn't a great situation not being able to get outside the stadium and leave. And at that point I get it, because you can't rescan tickets. So that was their whole purpose, was you don't want people coming in and out. But like they were out. They were just like, okay, this is the second rain delay. They got there super early. They're not rich like the Angers, so they didn't have places to go and all that kind of stuff. So they watched it from home on YouTube or whatever it was on, or I think it was on TV somewhere too. So they enjoyed that, and we'll get to them another time and all that kind of stuff as well. Mm-hmm. But can you, like, they sold out Kinnick Stadium back-to-back nights.
Right.
Like, that's wild to me.
Crazy.
And they do that all over the place. Like, and after being there, you have no, like, you're like, of course they do. I'd go again tomorrow.
Yeah, I would. I would definitely go again. And one of the things that makes it even better is, like, it's affordable. I think tickets were $40 and $60, and obviously I had nothing to do with it. My wife did all that stuff. But when you check out, like, there's no extra bullcrap fees. Like, it's $60. That's what it is, and or $40, whatever. That's what it is. And I think that's something great too. Like, if it was, a family of 5, like, we can, like, it's expensive, but we can take our kids there. You go to any other major event, like, you're not bringing your kids because it's too overpriced.
Do you know what the NFL is right now?
I feel like when I played, it was like $130 or something. What is it now per ticket?
We paid God, I don't even like saying this on TV because makes it sound. Now, mind you, this is a special. Well, they all have birthdays in the fall, so we can knock out like this is part of your birthday. Plus, we have family up there, so we want to go visit. It was $500 plus a ticket to go to the Lions.
Dude, that's
Vikings
insane.
game. To go to the Lions Viking game. And let me, I'll even go back. This was our 4th year in a row going to a game. And yes, they've gotten a lot better. But first year they played the Eagles. The year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was game 1, really good game. They ended up losing by 3. But we had good seats, like lower bowl seats, and they were like 200 something, 220. Next year they were getting better. It was like same seats, almost same spot, like around that area. It was like 320. And then the next year it was 420. And then last year it was same location, but up from the lower bowl to the upper bowl, and it was like $500. It's crazy.
Nuts.
For a family of 6,
absolutely.
like it's ridiculous.
insane,
and
dude.
like it's to a point we're trying to map it out this year with like Iowa football, and it just happened like last year the bye week worked perfect. Actually, this year the weeks are off. Week 3 is week 4 for Iowa. So week 3 for the Lions, they play the Jets at home, and week 4 for the Hawkeyes, they play up at the big house. And I said to Corey Sheets, I'm like, hey, can I do the pregame show from the big house? And he's like, probably. So, which who knows yet. But anyways, there's a thought process of like taking everybody to Michigan, go to Iowa, Michigan on Saturday, and then go to the Jets-Lions game on Sunday. And it's also Charlie's birthday weekend. But like I'd have to sell like 1 million more sponsorships to this show in order to pay for a back-to-back. Like that's an expensive weekend. So I don't know if we'll do it or not. But like that's, you just mentioned, like it's great, it's fun, but like they probably would have enjoyed the Savannah Bananas, maybe not just as much, but you know, a good amount for what?
Yeah,
a fraction of the price.
Right.
Like, that's the problem where the NFL's at right now, is that you can't. And I guess it's all secondary market stuff because we don't know anybody that has regular tickets and those kind of things. So it's all in the secondary market. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Pat Anger joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Did you, being back at Kinnick Stadium, do you know that, like, have you seen the memes of like 9 weeks till football? Like the countdown and all that kind of stuff? Or did it get the juices flowing a little bit? Being back at Kinnick Stadium, did you go up to the booth and like hope Dolph was sitting there? Like I imagine Dolph just sits in the chair at Kinnick Stadium 365 waiting for football to start. He doesn't though.
Yeah, I mean, in between iClub talks, I think he just hangs out there. They tried to do a swarm. The Savannah Bananas, they walked out of the tunnel, they held hands, but they didn't do the swarm right. They all ran out as individuals as opposed to together. That's something that they need to work on if they want to do the swarm. But it was cool. They came out to the song. Like it was, it does get you a little ready to go. It does get you a little fired up. I am looking forward to the season, man. I'm excited to get moving. Year 3 and year 2 for you. Year 3 for me, year 2 for you.
Yeah. You do a lot more than I do. Trust me.
No, I don't. Hey, it was a great run to the left. Good job. That's kind of me. And then Dolph does all the good stuff. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited for this team. Excited to watch them improve every week. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun just getting back into the swing of things.
You know what Tom Caker does over the 4th of July? He puts out his fearless forecast for Iowa football. It's like a 20-some year tradition. He does it every single year. I have to go read it yet, so I don't know what exactly. I'm going to have him on later this week if he'll lower himself to my level. But I don't think he had him going 12-0. Your thoughts, because I feel like you would argue with Tom's article probably 2 or 3 times. I bet you. My guess is he has him going 9-3. That's a guess. I don't know though.
No. Yeah, well, Tom's wrong, but whatever. It's okay.
Still 12-0. Still 12-0.
12-0. Yeah, for sure. And you know how much I hate all these, and I understand from a media perspective. You guys, you've got to hype it up. You guys. You are media guys.
You are the media.
I completely understand, but it is always kind of ridiculous. What like who knows? No, how can you talk about a team you've never seen play?
Yeah,
to me that's always just crazy.
Well, especially these.
But you
days.
have to do it.
These days when you have like all these new faces that you expect to make impacts and you don't know quarterbacks, you don't know, but you know what? When I was young, Pat, I would, and this has got him old, but I would go to the grocery store and there'd be remember the Lendy's and the Athlon? They had all the I would sit there, my mom would shop and I would just read them in the aisle over and over. And then I begged my mom to buy one. I bet you they were like $3.99. If I go to think about, or $2.99. Now that you can't get anything for $2.99, more or less like a publication like that. And I would go, and eventually she let me get it. And I'd read the Iowa section and the Big Ten section like over and over and over again. So like I think fans, and we'll do like I'll toss out today that Pat Anger is going to be on. And anybody that thinks that we're going to talk Iowa football, they're going to be disappointed to hear you talking about dudes lathering themselves up in butter. But like we did get to football eventually, and like they love that stuff. It's the countdown to getting there, and it should be it's going to be a fun season. It's just going to be. Go ahead.
No, and I get it. I completely get it. And and obviously, I've read that stuff too. But it's. The only people like you just don't even like the coaches. Like, I mean, there's times when, I'd be going to the season, like, I don't know if we're going to be good or not. Like, you just don't know. And you're there at all the practices, you're watching all the film, you're doing all that stuff. You have no idea what a team's going to be. But the one thing that when it comes to Iowa football is that you're going to have guys that are going to play their ass off. You're going to have coaches that are going to coach their ass off. And you're going to have a team that's going to improve every week. And that's the guarantee every single year when it comes to Iowa football.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it. I was you can't see it because of the close shot, but like since I took my set to Deer Run last week, before I put everything back together again here, I cleaned, and it needed to be cleaned so bad. It was like, oh my gosh, there's like, but I found last year before the season, John Bonenkamp and Tom Caker were on, and we did predictions, and it was like most interceptions, most sacks, and I was most receiving yards. Tom Caker had Seth Anderson as most receiving yards on the Iowa football team. Like, and that, I mean, I think they both had not Llewellyn, but help me, Shire as the tackle leader. But like they did, I mean, I went through most of them. They both had 9 and 3. So they missed that because it was 8 and 4. But it was funny to go back. I'm going to bring them up this year but some of them are completely wrong. So, but that's the fun of this time of year is that us idiots can talk about it and nobody remembers. Sure. They have no idea I wrote them down. So that's the beauty part is I wrote them down so I can throw them in their face. Hey, last thing. I know you're the best golfer in the history of the world. Did you watch any of the John Deere Classic? That's a hell of a finish. And I look at Chris Gotterup and I'm like, Pat Anger would like this guy. Like, he seems like a Pat Anger type of dude.
Yeah, so at I guess, yes, I did not watch it, but I heard about it because Fick put a little coin on Gotterup on like Thursday or Friday or something like that.
I may have yesterday.
So that was a huge hit. Huge hit for him. But at the 4th of July party I was at, John Morgan, he's a former PGA golfer. He lost in a playoff at the John Deere Classic. He was there, and I got a chance to talk to him. That guy is hilarious. That guy's the funniest guy I've ever met in my whole entire life. And I think too because he's got that British accent, which makes everything he says even better. But that was really cool talking to him because his career, he was this rising golfer and doing really well, and then he ended up having to retire due to epilepsy. And kind of struggled through that, and ended up now he's doing broadcasting, and he's doing a great job. Man, the guy is just an unbelievable guy. And
why was he at your party? What happened? What's this all about?
It wasn't my party. The people whose house I was at, they know him. They know a lot of golfers and caddies and stuff in the Classic, just through many years of support and being around the game and stuff like that. So it was. Yeah, it was really cool for to sit down and talk to him.
So did you sit topless in a pool with him and eat and drink?
No, at that point I think I was out of the pool, which is probably why we were able to have a civil conversation. But no, we're sitting there having a couple of beers, and I really enjoyed it. And that guy, dude, he's hilarious. That guy is quick-witted. He's funny. He's super intelligent. If you have an accent like that, anything you say is super intelligent and hilarious. And I'm very envious of that because I am so dumb and I sound even dumber because of my
Dumbness.
accent. Yeah.
Have you thought about embracing that? Maybe using his accent next year on air, just when you're. You know how, like, you make fun of me because I have a TV voice, which I don't, but like, and you do too. Like maybe you work that into your repertoire next year.
Yeah, I probably should. I could probably do that. I'm not going to start now, and I think that's what you want me to do. But I'm not going to do it right now on air.
I wasn't off the air, not on.
Off the air.
Off.
Yep.
Hey, pal. Well, I'm glad you're back at work. Get inside, do some work today. I feel like you probably haven't done much of that recently. Are you golfing this week?
No, I'm not. I was going to golf tomorrow, but I'm unable to, which is okay. I took the boys. We took the boys out golf. I took the boys out golfing on Tuesday. We did a little best ball with my future brother-in-law, and I don't think we used any of my shots. My 12-year-old hitting from the junior tees just dominated.
My
It was awesome.
11-year-old Chase hits from the whites. I mean, if he wants to go up to the junior tees, that's cute. But I'm just saying.
Hey, I mean, why? Here's the thing. Why would you play a team with their best players when you don't have to? And why would you hit further back when you can hit further up?
Yeah, it's like the pink ball. It's like the pink ball.
Give me 100. If I can get 100 yards every time before I even hit, we'll do that.
Hey, also real quick, I will let you go. But Pat won 2 different contests at the Guy Randazzo, and has Godfather's Pizza for a year. So like, life is good. I'm not kidding you, Pat. We went, me, Steve Rowe, Aaron Blue. I don't know if you know Aaron, Bobby Metcalf. A few others went to Godfather's after the John Deere Classic on Thursday, I think. And Andy Furman, like he hooked us. It was such like I know they're a fantastic sponsor of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and like Andy supports the heck out of everything, like View from the West, all the local stuff. He's a great supporter of high school athletics, but it's good freaking pizza. It's good.
It's good every time. It's good every single time.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get a bad pizza. You're never gonna have a bad experience. I absolutely love Godfathers.
I love it.
Freaking solid.
You know what, Pat? We love you. All right, pal?
Love you too, buddy.
All right, buddy. Get out of here. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, buddy.
Proud of you. See you, man.
All right. That is Pat Anger joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, talking World Cup, talking soccer, Savannah Bananas, his experience a little better than my family's. Not blaming anybody. My wife wasn't happy, so she may be blaming people. She didn't blame me, so that was the beauty part of all that. So we had that's a fun chat with Pat Anger here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We got a lot more to get to. Speaking of the Savannah Bananas, another local resident here in the Quad Cities made an impact at the Savannah Bananas. We'll explain that and talk to him coming up. You're watching OTA on a busy Monday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a busy Monday in the Quad Cities. We chatted with Pat Anger about the Savannah Bananas and everything else when it comes to Pat. That was a lot of fun. But the Savannah Bananas in Iowa City over the weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and it's awesome the stories that I've heard and come from the Savannah Bananas. Everybody loved it. There was the toughness when it comes to the weather, but different little issues and moments that happened with the Savannah Bananas. That was awesome. One of them comes from right here in the Quad Cities. And it had me going back in the day because over 11 years ago, this guy was the Big Ten Fan of the Year. And then I go to social media and I have people text me because Austin Chesney joins me right now. You're sprinting down Kinnick Stadium this weekend with your shirt off. How are you, my dude?
What's up, Matt Randazzo? How's your Monday kicking off here?
Man, it's great. I got to explain. You're wearing the Bananas jersey. You won a sprint. I'm going to show it to everybody now. We'll put it up over while we talk, but you won a sprint. Tell me how this happens. How do you get yourself topless out to Kinnick Stadium, barefoot streaking down the stadium?
Well, I'm a banana first timer. Obviously, I'm a banana believer now with my jersey that I have on. I'm all jacked up from that whole thing. I didn't know what to expect when I went to this event, but man, what an amazing experience. They were just doing some casting calls over the PA system, looking for 48 to 52-year-old males to come down to the field to be part of the game. So my wife sitting next to me with a couple of my dear friends, they're like, you should go down there and be a part of the game. And I'm like, I don't know, man. They were eating corn off people last night on Friday night. So, they're buttering people up eating. I'm like, I don't want to do that off another human being. But they convinced me to go down there as I was signing up. Of course, you got to sign a waiver in case you get injured. And they were kind of talking to us about what was going to happen. And they're like, well, you're going to be running across the field in a race. And I was like, oh, my gosh, that's right up my alley. So I went back to my seat. They're like, report back after the first inning is over. And then I went up there, chilled out, watched the first inning, and just kind of waited for the thing to unfold.
Austin, you weren't just part of a race. It was barefoot, correct? Is that a thing? Was everybody barefoot?
Well, in 2021, I ran the Leadville 100, and it was a 100-mile race in the Colorado mountains to help my sobriety. And I've been 8 years dry here with alcohol.
That's awesome.
And I've kind of just stayed in shape with that.
So you didn't just win, and you're a huge Hawkeye fan. For anybody who doesn't know this, I mentioned back in 2015, you won Big Ten Fan of the Year. I remember going out to Indianapolis and doing a story with you in Indianapolis at that point. So you're a big Hawkeye fan. What's going through your mind when you're sitting there at Kinnick Stadium getting ready to sprint down the middle of the field in front of 70,000 people, mind you, right? What's going through your mind?
That was the most intense part of it. Virgil, quit that. The most intense part of it was that when I went down there and found out I was going to be sprinting 100 yards across Kinnick Stadium, because my dad's been taking me to the game since I was, 7, 8 years old, maybe earlier than that. So to think that I could run down the middle of Kinnick Stadium, it was just bigger than what I thought it would be. I didn't know what the banana ball was going to be like. A, you get down there to be a part of a race that they're putting on. B, it's probably a dream come true to be able to sprint down Kinnick Stadium. I was an athlete. I played football. And then to be able to do it in front of those people, boy, that's intense. It was a rush.
Being a Hawkeye fan the way you are, take me, what's your guy? Everybody's had an Iowa player throughout. Are you Tim DeWhite? What's going through your mind right now? Who'd you feel like? I would have been sitting here thinking I was, whomever it may be. What was going through your mind when you were sprinting down that place?
I'm an old Bettendorf Bulldog. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
So, I grew up with the rivalries of Tavian Banks and Tim Dwight chasing each other down on the fields of Iowa City and Bettendorf, Iowa. So, I was trying to, I don't know, maybe tap into my inner Timmy Dwight, Tavian Banks. I don't know. I like Cade Weegan was a fun player to watch last year. God, I loved watching him run. That was neat after he caught punts and ran. But there's been some guys over time that have been, had some juice. I mean, Cooper DeJean had some juice too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Austin Chesney joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. You win by a lot. What'd you get? Did you get anything, or was it just pride? Like, obviously you got a appearance on Off Day with Matt Randazzo, which is priceless. But
that's it. That's the trophy right there.
Was it just pride?
When I got done and sprinted across, you could see the producer in the background of the videos that have gone crazy since that race happened. They're like, get off, everybody needs to get off the field, because they had 250-year-olds out there. That's what the run was for, because it was July 2nd, 250 for our country. And so they had, 250-year-olds. They're trying to usher everybody off because they are on a time limit with the Bananas. They only got 2 hours to play. So that they're ushering us off, and you get a pat on the back, and people are kind of laughing at you, and it was just being a part of it. I think was the prize in itself. Spring down Kinnick, people are screaming at you. I mean, that's the juice right there.
Have you timed it? Like, what's your 100? Like, have you stopped watching it?
I was never a track guy.
But like, I bet you could with the video. You could stop, and I mean, there's enough video out there. You were floating,
now I think about it. My friend who was with us for the game, he timed it. I thought it might have been 15 seconds or something or less, but it wasn't 100 because I had to run through the end zone, and then through the other end zone. So
it was 120.
No, maybe 110, 115, because it was a part of the other end zone, maybe.
Yeah,
but
look at that. I love it. Austin Chesney joining us on Up There with Matt Randazzo. You are a big Iowa fan, so before we let you get out of here and stuff, we got to talk a little Iowa football. What's it like being in that? Actually, before we do that, Savannah Bananas. Were you obviously you going up there? You were excited for it. Were you a Savannah Banana fan before this? And your thoughts on just the experience? Pat Anger was just on talking about how much he loved it. Your thought on the experience itself? Are you a banana for life?
Gosh, I have to say they got me. They sold. Actually, they sell a fan first experience, and I think that's what makes it pure gold. And the leisureness of it, with all the entertainment going on during all the dead spots that would normally happen in baseball, and a lot of purists obviously like that part of baseball. But the beauty of it is that they fill that other time with other things that are going to entertain the casual fan. And that's what makes it work so well, because they put the fan first, and it's about people first. And that's what makes it go. I was kind of skeptical to go to the Bananas game. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. But once I got there and saw what it was all about, this people first mentality, because we run our businesses the same way.
Yeah.
It got me. It hooked my soul. And then to be able to be a first timer as a Banana fan, and then go down to the field and be a part of the show as a first timer. I mean, think about that bigger side of the production to a person who's been there for the first time. I was a part of the show. That was crazy. What an amazing product. And they do the children's hospital stuff. They include kids and families. And I ultimately think that's what it's all about. I would definitely go back. I'm a believer in it now. My buddy got me a jersey, and it was outstanding. I think it was a home run.
I love it. Austin, before we let you go, I want to talk a little Hawkeyes. Being back at Kinnick Stadium, I think it was 9 weeks from Saturday until the first Iowa football game. Thoughts heading into the season? Put the fan hat on, take the banana off, put the football jersey on. Your thoughts on this year's Iowa football team? I know you're a huge fan.
When I get in pockets like this as a fan where you don't hear much coming up to the season, and I think that's kind of been the story so far, because if they got a lot of returning people and they're hyped up and a lot of things are, coming back that way, it usually doesn't go as well as they usually think it might go. So when it's kind of quiet like this, They've got some huge key pieces coming back on that offensive line. They got that transfer running back from North Dakota or South Dakota. I think the running game is going to be pretty mean. And with our offensive coordinator coming in and this being his third year, I think Tim Lester is legit. I think he's the man. I think he's going to plug in a quarterback and have this guy ready. And with our solid running game that we're going to have to let this quarterback get comfortable in the first few games, I think we could do something. Because, Phil Parker's going to have the defense ready. You just know that's going to happen. I mean, our D-line probably is something we should think about a little bit, but that would probably be our biggest hole. Our linebackers are going to be animals. They always are. Our defensive backfield, that's Parker's specialty. Yeah, I think we're going to be flying under the radar, which the point of it was. I think we're going to fly under the radar a little bit. And when we do that, usually good things happen to us.
No, you're exactly right. What is it with you Bettendorf guys? You got a bunch of energy. Pat was just on. Now you. There's something about being a Bulldog, or what is it?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's the water out here in Bettendorf, that water tower. I don't know what they were putting in there as kids.
I love it. Well, you both.
It's probably our coach Kevin Frecking back in the day juicing us up. He was our strength and condiishing coach. I love that guy. He's done a lot for us over the years.
I was just going to mention is probably I blame or credit Kevin Frecking. I don't know which one, but either one, he's a good people as well. Hey man, I love seeing it. I got several people that texted me or tagged me and said, look at what Austin did. And I'm like, I haven't talked to him in a few years. I got to catch up with him. And this is a perfect reason to do so. Great job, my man. First and foremost, great job on the sprints. Better job on the sobriety. I think that's fantastic. Super proud of you. All of that kind of stuff. And we'll catch up again soon. Go Bananas and go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks. And you're a great man, Matt. Thanks for all you do for people. Keep being that example that people need to see.
I love it. Thank you, my dude. We'll talk to you soon. That is Austin Chesney joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. That's a lot of fun. And that's the cool part about the Bananas is that I've gotten so many different stories, whether it was the actual baseball or it was the football aspect and the waving. And then you see Austin sprinting down with his shirt off, barefooted and all that kind of stuff. It's just a really cool experience this weekend at Kinnick Stadium as well. When we get back, we're going to be joined by Craig DeVrieze. We're going to put a bow on the John Deere Classic and talk at it maybe from a 30,000-foot view of what it meant this week, from Zach Johnson to Chris Gotterup and everything in between. Craig DeVrieze is next right here on OTA.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, July 6th, the Monday After the John Deere Classic, what a weekend it was out of Deere Run. What a week it was. It feels like Brad Underwood teeing up in the program was a month ago, but from Wednesday all the way through, I'll go back to Tuesday and the my executive women's event at Deere Run that they allowed me to MC. Everything was done fantastic, and we have an awesome champion when it comes to Chris Gotterup, the 2026 John Deere Classic champion. Here to unpack it all is our good friend Craig DeVrieze. Back at home, they kicked you out of the media center finally.
Yeah, I'm done. It's a cart barn again. I'll be parking carts there soon.
I love that. I love that. Boy, I guess headline this thing for me. If you're back in your newspaper days and you give a headline Monday morning in the paper, what does it say about Chris Gotterup and what we saw yesterday at the John Deere Classic?
Best player in field wins charges from forever back to beat a great field. Amazing. We talked briefly at the ninth green after he made a pretty stealthy par save. Who do we want to win? I said, well, it's got to be this guy. I mean, he came in number 14. He left number 7 in the world. Amazing. And just a great week. If you want to put a bow on this thing, I heard you mention the 30,000 foot overview. If John Deere is looking for reasons to stay involved, or maybe even take a step up in class, this week certainly made the argument. Props to Andrew and team. Props to the Quad Cities for showing out. Props to the PGA Tour for bringing 8 top 50 players to our tournament. I thought this was going to be the best field by OWGR field strength rating, but I looked at this morning and it actually was it trailed last year and the year before, but it doesn't matter. All three were the best fields in sports in John Deere Classic history, and I tell you, man, what an argument for status quo. It was so doggone good. And the best thing about it would have been Chris Gotterup's commitment to this event because he got a sponsor's exemption. That has always been a cornerstone strength of the John Deere Classic, dating back to Spieth, dating back to Zach, who came back and has always come back 24 straight years because he got sponsors exemptions. Was the quasi ambassador and may remain such for, I don't know, another 20 years.
Yeah.
As because he got sponsors exemptions and really appreciated what that meant to his early career. And boy, to hear Chris Gotterup wax rhapsodic about that, call it his 5th major, that means a lot. That's amazing.
Yeah. Craig DeVrieze joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. Take me down the stretch because we did chat on 9, and I'm like, I had a little bit of my wife's money on Chris Gotterup to start the day, just because, I mean, he was the best player there.
You don't have to say your wife's money because we know you don't have any.
I know hey, I just got to clarify just to make sure she allows me back in the house at night. I got to give credit where credit is due. You knew that, like, you looked at the thing I worried about was he could get there. He was 5 back, I think, to start the day. There was just so many damn people between him and the top of the leaderboard, Craig. What happened
11,
on Sunday?
He started 11 back,
yeah.
with I think another 9 guys that tied with him at 11 under, and he just kept pedal down, man. I really thought. So we get there, we see him climbing the board, and so I get excited. Okay, there's going to be a Chris Gotterup sidebar that I get to write for PGAtour.com. He turns in 5 under, and I took a look at what he did, and he parred the par 5. This is the biggest hitter in the field, and he parred number 2. What happened is he brushed a tree. He actually still got it to the green, but then he couldn't get close enough, and he two-putted. And then you look, number 4 was a topic of discussion all week, and from the time Todd Haydu told me that those bunker complexes were going to be 300 and some to carry, I thought of Chris Gotterup. He hit it 340 there yesterday.
Crazy.
caught the downslope behind the left bunker, which is the far bunker. That's probably a 320 carry, 310 carry, and had a gap wedge in and made birdie. And anyway, I thought maybe that par 5 was going to be the one that was going to make him come up short, and it could have been if Ben Coles can get the deal done. But went out and followed him on, brought him in after the 16th hole and watched him play 17. Took a massive swing. Breeze kind of caught it and carried it over into the rough. And when I got up there and saw that lie, I said, "Well, this isn't ideal," and he knew it too. But he managed to make an incredible up and down from right of the green. And everybody knows that hill is like the Himalayas.
Mm-hmm.
He hit a flop shot that carried just a little too far, but boy, did he grind on the putt. And he made it, and he said it's just awesome to be able to make that putt. And he didn't think in the aftermath that, maybe a couple years ago, as he was growing into his game, that he might have been able to pull that out and find the calm and the reserve and the and the game, the stroke to just absolutely pour that putt into at 17, and he absolutely had to have that, or there would have been a playoff with Max Homa, which would have been okay too. That would have been pretty exciting. So yeah.
You look at so I have two of my boys out there with me yesterday. Charlie knows the game of golf, watched it for a while. My 11-year-old newer to the game, and it's like, well, I think, and give Cole's credit. He bogeys 15, comes back birdie 16, and you're like, well, and my son Chase is like, well, Dad, there's a birdie out there. I'm like, well, yes, on 17, but 18's hard, and I just kept saying to myself, like, that's the thing, he didn't. And then I said to my kids, I'm like, and even earlier than that, I said, if he can get this to 20, and they're both like, well, that's not enough. I said it is, because it might be, because you got to go. I'm trying to say this nicely. Ben Coles you can do that on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 15 through 18 or something. But when you're chasing somebody or a number, 16, 17, and 18, there's a lot of pressure to it. I thought that, I don't want to say it got to Ben Coles, but not to get one on 17. I think right then and there you knew if you're Chris Gotterup, you're at least in really good shape for a playoff.
Oh, no question he was in good shape for a playoff because he could have Coles could have birdied 18, but he's got a history, and it's just so it was unexplainable, the thought process that he said he went through. There was a lot of moving pieces. I was gonna maybe hit a 9, but I didn't want to come up short. I was gonna hit an 8, but I didn't want to go too long, so we cut down we chopped an 8. And the thing about it is he said he went through all that thought process, and very much to Frank Noble's credit, he said he hit that ball really quick, and he did. Pulls it into the drink, and it was just carbon copy repeat of how he failed to win a couple of years ago at the CJ, the Byron Nelson. I mean, and it's really bizarre because he's never won on tour. Obviously, he's been a journeyman, but he came out in 2012 and won 2 straight Korn Ferry Tour events. He's the only guy who's ever done that. Got his card, was on tour for a while, went back out after losing his card, and he won twice last year or twice in 2023 on the Korn Ferry Tour. So this is a guy who knows how to win, but apparently doesn't know how to do it when the money is what it was, $1.5 million versus $400,000. So it's a shame. It's a shame for him. Obviously, not a shame for Chris Gotterup, and not a shame for the John Deere Classic. Because man, this is Chris Gotterup's back next year, and who knows what he's going to be ranked. He may have a major in his pocket. He's that good. And then we'll see what 2028 brings. But like I said, if John Deere is looking for a reason to step it up just a little bit, even if it's just to be an elevated Challenger Series event, to make sure that TV's involved, and that we have more of a profile than some of the other events on the Challenger Series tour. They can do it, and if they want to really go big, and if the PGA Tour comes to its senses and understands that $30,000 from a sponsor is way too much to ask. We'll see. I don't know. There's so much is up in the air, and but we got it. We got one for next year. We know that. I think we'll have one beyond 2028, and whatever it is, it's going to be good. You know, we're again great week for sponsors exemptions. To accentuate the value of sponsors exemptions, and guess what, Matt? The Challenger Series has sponsors exemptions. We could have a Preston Stout who played great, a Blades Brown who played great, both top 20 guys, marquee attractions. Whatever this is, it can be good, and so we'll see what comes down. You know, it ain't over till John Deere sings.
That's exactly right. I want to talk to you a few more golfers before I let you go. Max Homa seems to like this place. Like we mentioned,
he doesn't want to, but he does.
I know, like, and he gets really close late. Again, played great on. I was over there on 9 where he went over this the entire. He hit the stands or whatever you will, and then had to drop. Then hit from there. And it was awful, and then hit in from the rough at that point for par. It was the craziest par I've ever seen. And I thought then and there, I'm like, he can make a run. What is it about? I mean, he doesn't, like you mentioned, he doesn't like courses like this, allegedly, but he sure does play well here.
You know, he doesn't like 20 under courses, he said, but he likes this, and maybe
it's because
he says,
he's only an 18 under. He doesn't like 20
well,
under
here's
because
the
he's only
thing.
18.
If he could, if he had put together, you know, he was leading on the front last year. If he could put, and then he fell apart on the back a little bit. If he could have put the 2 9s that he had on Sundays together, he would have won one of these running away.
Yeah,
if not both.
Yeah,
good player. Ricky Fowler had a great week. Zach, amazing.
Isn't it?
Amazing. And, you know, the storylines were magnificent. I mean, we went into Sunday with Zach having a chance to be the 9th over 50 winner. We had a chance for Preston Stout to be the 9th amateur winner, amateur to win on tour. And we had a chance for Blades Brown to be the 4th teen to win on tour. And obviously the first since a certain Mr. Spieth accomplished that in 2013. So at the John Deere Classic. So it was an amazing week. We really had great storylines. We had if you wanted to look real hard, you look at the leaderboard that includes Ben Coles, Lee Hodges, and some of the less familiar names. It was a bit of a preview of the of what would be a Challenger Series tournament. But it also, that's a preview that would include top amateurs like Preston Stout, NCAA champion, top ranked amateur in the world, Blades Brown. I mean, let's be optimistic and think that whatever we get is going to be a professional. It's going to be really, really good.
Absolutely. Last one for you, Craig. Who will win next year's John Deere? No, I'm kidding. I won't do that to you. Your favorite story this week, and obviously Chris Gotterup's the headline in the story. And if that's him, it's him. If it's Zach, whatever. Is there anything that you watched and you just like, you know, in your wise ways, looked back and said, I really enjoyed that about the 2016 John Deere Classic, 2026, excuse me, John Deere Classic.
It would be Zach. I mean, obviously, he just stayed there all week and was so eloquent about the reasons why he was here. He's skipping a senior major, the Senior Open, with Charles Schwab Cup race very much in the balance. Stuart Sink finished second, so Zach lost some ground there. But he's committed to this event, and he's committed to playing his best golf in this event, and he did it, and that's amazing. I think he was I don't know the number, but there are it's a rare number of Champions Tour players who have top 10 in a PGA Tour event, and he joined that crowd because he finished strong. Didn't finish really strong, but he had a great Saturday, obviously great Thursday, and a solid finishing round. So props to Zach and being here and getting it done. And then again, Chris Gotterup, particularly with his mention of his affinity for the place due to the sponsors exemption. But it's not just that, he even after winning, he steps up. He's going to number 7 in the world, and this is a kid who just is not full of himself in any way, shape, or form. He's not like, oh man, I'm a world killer. He just, oh gosh, golly shucks. I mean, he's a cool kid. He's chill, and he's gonna be fun next year, and we have him back, and that's gonna be great.
Craig, I appreciate it. It's been fun again this year. Let's do this again next year. What do you think?
Yeah, if I'm not in the old folks' home,
I'll get you out just for this week.
Even then,
I promise.
Yeah,
I'll get you out. I'll come pick you up every day.
Okay.
All right, Craig. Appreciate you. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Craig DeVrieze, great job all week. PGAtour.com. You can check out all of his stuff. He's got the blog as well. So, Craig doing a fantastic job with the John Deere Classic as always. And that's what this. It's a fun week for golf. It's a fun week for the Quad Cities, people to go out there. I think it's a fun week because people get to go out and look around and see people they don't see all the time. There's people you see that you're like, oh, it's the John Deere Classic. Of course I'm going to see that person. So a ton of fun out at the John Deere Classic. We'll continue to put a bow on it throughout the week right here on Off Day with Matt Randazzo, and then kind of move on to the rest of the sporting world. Again, I got to thank Andrew Lehman for allowing us to crash the house one more time this year. He mentioned it. I'm going to keep it that we can come back next year as well. So we'll do that again next year as well. It was a ton of fun out of the John Deere Classic. And again, like Craig said, this is a great example to the PGA, to John Deere. We already know it as a community. This thing is a pretty good thing. Don't mess with a good thing, hopefully. So coming up later this week, a bunch of fun stuff planned. Chase and Randall, we've been trying to catch up with them for weeks. With the John Deere Classic, we bumped into this week. Chase coming up this week, and a bunch more stuff as we continue to work our way through July. We mentioned it already, but we are really close to football season right around the corner as well. I do know a few dates I want to get to you guys. August 14th will be Iowa Football Media Day in Iowa City. We will be doing our show live from Iowa City that day as well. So August 14th for that. And also August 9th is the View from the West preview party down at the other bar in Moline. We had a blast last year doing it, partnering up with View from the West. We'll do that again this year, Sunday, August 9th. Also my birthday, so another great reason to come out and buy me a drink. Coming up on Sunday, August 9th as well. So a full week of show this week. Next week we got a bunch of fun as well, and we're gonna take a week off and travel to the Pacific Northwest with my kids. So if I survive that, we'll be back in August. So we got a lot more to get to later this week. I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Thanks for watching.